we've got this election coming up where we've got some controversial ballot measures that appear to be headed for the ballot. We've got a candidate race in Bend that is in upheaval.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the governor and her main challenger unable to agree on the number of debates, but there will be some.
Yeah.
And we've got the influence of the national midterm
Right.
elections. So what do you make of this election coming up in Oregon in November?
Yeah. Well, so the outside possibility, and it's not clear if it'll happen, is the blue wave. And if the blue wave happens, then Democrats across the board, down to dog catcher, are going to do well. We saw this in Oregon a little bit in 2006 when people were saying, we don't like the Iraq war. And so people who were running for county commission and state legislature would knock on doors and people would say, what are you going to do about the war? It's like, well, that's not for me. But Democrats did really well. And then there's 1994 when Republicans did very well and swept into power, not just nationally, but really in Oregon, really consolidated their power in the legislature as well. So we don't know if there's going to be a blue wave, but if there is, then it's simply, if you're a Democrat, you're going to do well. Another example is the Watergate election in 1974. Democrats did very well, Republicans just got slammed. But here in Oregon, if you take that out or say, well, we aren't sure how powerful it's going to be, it's fascinating because it doesn't look like much is going to change. When you look at the legislature, the Democrats need one more seat in both houses to have a supermajority. It looks like there are possibly 2 hot races in both houses. And so if the Democrats lose both of those, then they're going to still have a majority. If they win both of those, then they're going to have a supermajority. But it's not really going to change the balance of power very much in Salem. When you look at the governor's race, Newt Buehler still has got to show that he is within serious contention of Kate Brown. The amount of money that he has raised since the primary election is less than Kate Brown. He started out, he had about $200,000 in the bank after his primary. He's up to like $320,000. She, on the other hand, has several $1 million in the bank. Newt Buehler has got to show that he can get millions of dollars to come in. And we won't know if that happens until we see the numbers. But what people around Oregon and around the country are doing when they're looking at this governor's race is, can Newt Buehler show that he has a real shot? In other words, can he go from being a generic Republican, and they get about 40% of the vote? Can he have polling, even behind the scenes, that shows him at 45, 46, 47? If that happens, the money will just pour into him. But if it doesn't, we're going to have a pretty sleepy gubernatorial race as well.